Okay, so I would call this multiplication part 2. So I showed you how multiplication is just adding over and over. Now, when you start to memorize your multiplication tables, anything times 1 is going to be the same number. Anything times 1 is going to be that same number. These are going to be the same because you only had one of them. So for example, 7 times 1 means just 1 7. If you just have a group of 7, you have 7. Big numbers, 1,264 times 1 equals 1,264 because you only had one group of 1,264. A million times 1 is a million because times 1 just means one of them. One of these, one group, this is going to be the same. That's all you have, one group. So that's the first thing you memorize. Anything times 1 is that same number. All right, let's talk about 0. Any number in the world times 0 is going to be 0, and I'll show you why. Let's take 2 times 0. What does this mean? It means you have 2 0 times. Or you could say you have 0 group, you have 2 0 times, or you have groups of nothing twice. So any number in the world times 0 is always 0. A billion times 0 is 0. So now you've learned times 0 times 1. Easy? Okay, let's talk about times 2. You're going to be really good at this because times 2 is just the doubles, and you're really, really good at that. Let me turn my camera a little bit. So for example, 3 times 2. What does this mean? Always think that thought in your head. Say, what am I looking at here? What does this mean? It means 2 3s. 3 plus 3. Do we know that? We sure do. We learned that in first grade. 5 times 2. Do we know that? What's 5 plus 5? 10. These are first grade things we learned. And you can flip this around. 2 times 7. You could line up 7 2s. Let's do it to prove to ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just count by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. 14, but you know what's faster? Do 2 of these. What's 7 plus 7? 14. So anything times 2, just double the other number. Easy enough? Okay, so you know you can memorize quickly times 0, times 1, times 2. I'm going to skip 3 and 4, and let's talk about multiplying times 5. I'm going to end the video, and I'll come back and show you times 5. This is part 2.